These are the borderless gold butterfly playing cards. This deck is marked, gilded, and a lot more, so make sure to stick all the way to the end of the video to get all the secrets. Now when it first arrives, it doesn't actually arrive in this box. When you first get it, it arrives in this. This is a really cool sleeve idea that they had where it goes all the way around and then you get a gold sticker on the front. Now you don't actually have to break the seal or break the sticker to be able to get into the card. You can actually just open it up to one side or open it up on the other, and then your cards are inside. Now it does have some extra words in here which I'll read to you. It says, "With the rose the butterfly deep in love, 1,000 times hovering around, but round himself all tender like gold, the sun's sweet ray is hovering found." Then from the bottom you'll be able to see that it says Henrik Heiden and translated from Germany by Edgar Alfred Boring. Now onto the tuck box, where you have a black matte tuck box with a golden butterfly here and then a gold band that goes all the way around. So both long edges are just gonna have the band at the bottom. Here's the other one, and the back's gonna be the same except for this little tuck seal, which I'll get to in a second. The bottom is going to have some ad copy in gold again, and you get a golden custom tuck seal from Butterfly Playing Cards Black Series. When you open up the inner tuck flap, you get the first look at what the rest of the deck is going to look like. The two small inner tuck flaps are going to have that same design along with the rest of the tuck box, even on into the rest of it down here as well. And on the inside, it says the sky's the limit. Now we're on to the playing cards, and this back design is gorgeous. And the main reason I'm doing this deck review at this moment, even though they came out years ago, is because they just came out with another deck that has the same type of design but only has a border on it. So if you want to pick them up, check out the description below. This back design is absolutely stunning, is borderless, gold everywhere, and has two black butterflies in the center. It is a one-way design and fully marked, but I'll get into all of the markings and stuff later. You are going to see that the entire side of the deck is going to be gilded in gold, and this goes all the way around the entire thing. And if you're wondering, no, it does not inhibit fanning like some decks do. You're still going to get beautiful fanning the entire way through. One thing that is different about this deck is the order that it comes in. It is not new deck order. It actually goes from clubs to diamonds to hearts to spades instead of your normal spades, diamonds, clubs, hearts. But it still does go ace to king to ace, king to ace. Here are your number cards. These look pretty well standard. There is going to be a small difference though between these number cards and a normal deck of like bicycle playing cards or tally-hos or anything else that you're probably used to. The only difference, if you haven't seen it yet, is going to be in this top corner here. You're going to get these two small lines. There's your diamonds, there is your hearts, here is your spades, and on all of them are going to be those two small lines in that upper corner. And I will tell you that that does make a slight difference when you're fanning it the other way. So if you're going to try and do a blank deck trick with this deck, it's probably not going to work. Now we are on to your three aces. They have each been enlarged slightly, which I love, and have a little bit more of the actual design from the back design in it as well. I wouldn't have changed a single thing on any of these three aces. Now we're on to the court cards, and normally from a regular deck, I would expect a little bit more customization when it comes to the court cards, instead of just taking the yellows and making them gold and taking out the blues. This one though, I feel like makes a lot of sense, keeping it more simple, considering the fact that they are just trying to use this for magic. Now the only downside I have is on this card right here. You're going to see that there's this white banner that goes right here and on this side. But if you look right here, there's a small triangle at the bottom of the banner. And if you look on that side, there's not, which makes this card a secret one-way card. And normally I like to have that removed when I talk about cards. If they would have done that, I think that would have made these court cards absolutely perfect. But outside of that, I think they killed it with these court cards. Now you're on to your semi-duplicate jokers, where the one is going to just say Joker in the corners and have the black butterfly in the middle. And then your other one is going to be the same thing except for in gold. For your ad card, you're going to get a double backer, which is fantastic for magic tricks. Your other ad card is going to be an instructional card for how to read the marking system, because you can look at this back design and know exactly what is on the face of it. But considering in a few days I'm going to be going into extreme detail of how to actually read this marking system, this card isn't going to do you much good, so make sure to subscribe so you can watch that video later. And last but not least, your marked gold borderless butterfly playing cards. Ace of Spades. Now clearly this deck looks fantastic, but some decks can look good and not handle well at all. So let's see if this deck can handle as good as it looks. First we'll check out and see if it can Pharaoh shuffle, and from bottom to top, Pharaoh's just fine. And from top to bottom, we'll see if it can Pharaoh just as well that way as well. And it can perfectly every other. Now these cards were printed by Cartamundi on their slimline cardstock and true linen B9 finish. So these cards are going to actually handle fantastic. But what is actually going to feel like in your hands when you get them to your house? When it comes to the stock, it is going to feel pretty middle ground, not too thick or too thin, so you're not really going to have to worry about that on any front. And when it comes to the finish of it, they glide beautifully, which most gilded and decks with foil and stuff on the back do not do well with. So truth be told, this one is going to be an exception to most of the rules when it comes to the stuff that is done with this deck of playing cards. And if you're wondering if it feels more buttery or snappy, which is pretty much just malleable or not, this deck is going to be less malleable than a normal deck of playing cards. It is going to be a little bit more stiff, so doing things like backdrop or ATM are going to be more suitable than doing something like Under Pressure or a Card Spring. Under Pressure and a Card Spring look like this. Clearly Under Pressure works great. Card Springs as well, just fine, no issues with them, but if I have to lean one way on if moves like that or moves like ATM like this, which if it's not a user error, it should be fine, or if it's a move like backdrop, which is this here, both of those moves are going to be a little bit more easy to do than the moves that require a little bit more malleability. And if you do want to know how this deck is marked, make sure to subscribe, because in just a couple of days, I'm going to be dropping a video on how to read this marked deck. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is CPM, signing off.